Hello and welcome. This guide comes to you from the experts at Pro Tax Accountant. We're going to tackle a question that's on a lot of people's minds right now. With the tax deadline looming, you might be thinking, could a robot do my taxes? It is a really tempting thought, but when it comes to your legal responsibility to HMRC, can you actually trust an AI with your finances? Let's find out.
It's a pretty powerful idea, isn't it? As we get closer to that January 31st deadline for the 2025/26 tax year, you're probably looking at a pile of invoices, receipts, and bank statements, and just wishing it would all go away. The idea that a tool like ChatGPT could just handle it? Well, it sounds like a magic wand for what is, let's be honest, one of the most stressful jobs of the year.
I mean, just imagine it. Typing a simple request like, prepare my UK self-assessment tax return, and boom, you get a perfectly calculated result. It feels like it could save so much time, so much money, and a whole lot of sleepless nights. But here's the thing. While the promise is massive, we really have to ask ourselves, is it a smart move? And even more importantly, is it safe?
Okay, so what would this actually look like if you tried it? To really get to grips with the potential and, the potential pitfalls, let's follow the journey of a typical UK freelancer who decides to give it a shot. So let's meet Tom. His web development business is doing really well. He's got clients in the UK and a few international ones, which right away complicates his income. He's claiming expenses for his home office, he's got loads of software subscriptions, and he travels for meetings. His finances are that kind of complex web that makes doing a tax return feel like an absolute nightmare. So let's see what happens when he turns to ChatGPT for his 2025-26 return.
Right. Now, let's be completely fair here. AI isn't the bad guy in this story. It's a tool. And like any good tool, if you use it for the right job, it can be incredibly helpful. So before we dive into the warnings, it's really important to look at what AI can actually be fantastic at. For all the admin that comes with running a business, AI is an absolute game changer. Think about it. You can ask it to write a polite but firm email to a client who hasn't paid an invoice. Done in seconds. Or maybe you're trying to read a really dense article on the HMRC website. Just ask AI for a simple summary. You can even use it to brainstorm expense categories you might have forgotten about, like marketing costs or professional development. It's great for that stuff.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It shows why AI is so appealing. It's brilliant at handling the boring, repetitive tasks, the drudgery that just drain your time and energy. By taking care of the grunt work, it frees you up to focus on what you're actually good at, running your business and keeping your clients happy.
Okay, but this is where we have to draw a very, very clear line in the sand. There's a huge difference between using AI as an admin assistant and making it your unqualified, uninsured tax advisor. The moment we shift from organizing to-do lists to filling out a legally binding tax return for HMRC, some seriously dangerous problems start to appear.
That's not all. Here's where most people go wrong. The first, and honestly the most shocking danger, is that AI can, and often does, just invent information. It's a known issue, and it even has a specific name, hallucination.
And this is a real, recognized problem. The best way to think about it is like an overeager assistant who'd rather invent an answer than just say, I don't know. The AI's whole purpose is to give you a confident, helpful-sounding response. So if it doesn't have the right facts, its programming can actually lead it to create an answer that sounds totally believable, but is in reality completely made up.
So, let's go back to Tom in London. He asks ChatGPT to find tax reliefs for web developers in his area. The AI comes back, very confidently telling him about this special grant worth £1,500. It sounds official, it sounds specific, it sounds perfect for him. The huge problem? It's completely fake. A qualified accountant would spot that in a heartbeat, but Tom, trusting the tick, might go ahead and claim it. And that one single mistake could easily trigger a very stressful HMRC investigation and lead to penalties for filing an inaccurate return.
Stay with me. The next point might surprise you. See, this issue isn't so much about what the AI gets wrong, it's about what it simply cannot know. And when you're talking about tax law, which changes every single year, that's a massive deal.
What's really fascinating here is how this timeline just lays the problem bare. Public AI models have a knowledge cutoff date. Let's say the one Tom is using stops learning in early 2024. That means it has absolutely no idea about any tax changes from the 2025 spring or autumn budgets. So imagine the Chancellor announces new national insurance rules for the self-employed in November 2025. Well, those are the exact rules your January 2026 return has to follow. Using ChatGPT is literally like trying to navigate London using a map from 2 years ago. You're absolutely guaranteed to take a wrong turn.
So beyond getting the facts wrong or using old info, we have to talk about something even more fundamental: your privacy. When you're dealing with your finances, keeping your personal data secure is everything, and with a public AI tool, you have zero guarantees. Just think for a second about all the sensitive information needed for a tax return: your unique taxpayer reference, your national insurance number, details of every penny you've earned, client names, bank statements, pension details, the list goes on. Now, when you copy and paste all of that into a free AI chatbot, where does it go? You have no real idea how it's stored, who can see it, or what it's being used for. You are essentially uploading your entire financial life to a public server.
And that brings us to a crucial point about accountability. Here's a pro tip for you. A qualified accountant isn't just an expert. They are a regulated professional. They are bound by really strict rules on client confidentiality and data protection. Plus, they have professional indemnity insurance, so if they make a mistake, they are liable for it. If ChatGPT invents a tax credit and you get a fine from HMRC, that fine, the interest, all of it is 100% on you.
So, let's put this all together. When you actually compare the two options side by side, the difference between using a generic AI tool and partnering with a real, dedicated professional, well, it becomes crystal clear.
And this comparison really just says it all, doesn't it? On one hand, you have a tool giving you generic answers based on old information with zero accountability and some pretty serious security risks. And on the other, you have a professional service offering tailored, secure advice based on the very latest tax law, where they are fully responsible for the guidance they give you. It's the difference between a random guess and an expert strategy.
So, after looking at all the evidence, where does that leave Tom, our London freelancer? And more importantly, what is the right move for you and your self-assessment this year? Okay, here's a simple 4-step strategy to handle your taxes smartly and safely. First, use AI for what it's good at: admin, drafting emails, brainstorming. That's its sweet spot. Second, and this is a big one, never, ever put personal financial data into a public AI tool. Third, just assume any tax advice it gives you is out of date, because it almost certainly is. And finally, number 4, trust a qualified human expert for the actual submission. It's the only way to be sure it's accurate and to protect yourself.
Which brings us to our final verdict. Can you rely on ChatGPT for your UK tax return? Look, the technology is amazing, and it's only going to improve. But for a legally binding document that you're sending to HMRC for the 2025/26 tax year, the answer has to be a clear and simple no. The risks of getting it wrong, facing financial penalties, and having your data breached are just far, far too high.
And finally, it is absolutely essential to remember that this has been a guide to help you understand the risks and rewards of AI when it comes to your taxes. Your business is unique, your financial situation has its own quirks and complexities, and for advice that's tailored specifically to you and your circumstances, you really must consult a professional.
If you're ready for that peace of mind that comes from knowing your taxes are sorted correctly without any of the risks we've talked about, then get in touch with the experts at ProTax Accountant. All their details are on the screen right now. And for more helpful guides just like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.